Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be talking about my free-to-play Blitz teams and how I use them to try and get as many points as possible and try to get all those milestones. So the first team that I use, mostly in Tier 1, is Miles, War Machine, Loki, Killmonger, and Captain Marvel. About 39,000 power. I really only use this team in the beginning of Tier 1 just to get some quick victories. They don't do very well after that. No tank, not a lot of no synergy basically. You got Spider-Verse, military, and then no tank or anything. So they're not really viable later on in the different tiers, just because they're not very strong. I haven't upgraded them yet, and they all belong on different teams. But I just figured I'd throw them all together and see what happens. So I use this team basically just to get a couple quick victories. Nothing special. Whoops. My new team, or the next team that I use is the Kree. 50,000 roughly power. Using Oracle. Reaper, Oracle, Noble, Ronin, and the Royal Guard. This is a really good team. I really have a good time using them, just because of all the energy that they create. Of course, Ronin got his rework, and I love using the special ability for Noble when she can get that offense up and assist. Once she starts using that, I mean, she's taking out a lot of enemies and just feeding all that energy to all the other characters. So this team I use probably tier 2, 3, 4, and since they're not upgraded in the highest level, I usually stop at tier 4 or after tier 4 with the Kree. They don't guarantee me victory after that, and I'm missing Minerva. I don't even have any shards for her, so of course I would put her in here somewhere if I had her, but they do get the job for me in that early middle game, trying to get those milestones. So I do have a great time using this team, and it's fun to use Ronin with all of his new abilities, the summons and the ability blocks, and the taking away some of the positive effects that the other team has. So I really like using this team. Just still have to keep grinding for the 5 stars. You can see I'm almost there with Reaper to get all these up so I can get the one and only Nick Fury. Talking about Fury. Next team I use is Shield, Operative, Medic, Assault, Soldier, and Security. Really fun team to use. Only problem is don't do a lot of damage, and so sometimes it can be hard to take on some teams where they do like a lot of burst damage, like Winter Soldier or anyone who can do like a ultimate really quick, just because if one of these guys falls down, then the team kind of, for me anyway, the team kind of just collapses, especially if it's like Operative or Medic, because they're feeding the heals to keep this team alive. Very sustainable. It seems like the matches that I do have with Shield take forever, just because a little bit low on offense, but like I said, they can last a long time in battle. With these guys, it's kind of in the same area as the Kree. I use them about up till tier 4, just because they're not fully upgraded, and of course they don't have Fury to kind of give them the synergy that they need to succeed, but they're still a really good team to use. Now this is a team coming in at 57,000 that I don't know. I just threw it together. Sometimes I use it, other times it's whatever. Miss Marvel, Black Panther, Ant-Man, Wasp, and Cable. I've actually never really used this team. I just wanted to create something that could get me a win, so I didn't have to spend any of the Blitz refreshes. This team does not guarantee me anything. There is not, let me see, AntMan I think only does the debuff with, I think, what is it, with his basic. But other than that, I don't even know why this is on here, but I use it sometimes, maybe more in that tier 2, 3, and if anything other than that, they would get destroyed. Next team that I use is the Brotherhood without Magneto, because I haven't unlocked him yet, but I use Venom instead. The reason I use Venom is that I kind of combo him with Pyro and Sabretooth to just keep those bleeds going. It's one of my favorite teams to use because you can just keep those bleeds going on the other team and heal block, and Venom can take away some positive effects, and I just really like using it. It's a lot of fun, and it's really good. This is a team that I will use up until, since they're missing Magneto, I can't really use them super high, but I think about tier 6 is when they stop for me, just because after that a lot of the other teams I'm going against are, Defenders, Nick Fury, Shield, or the Brotherhood with Magneto, and I don't have that kind of synergy to keep up with that. So I can get, these guys are very useful from 1 to 6, the tiers, and I do have a lot of fun playing with them. Just keep those bleeds going. I don't know what it is about Mystique. For me, she hits really weak. Maybe it's because she's low. But yeah, I would say that she's probably the weakest link. I think she needs Magneto to really benefit from the synergies that she has. But I love using this team. It's great, and I typically use these on the let's say like a tier 5, and I need to win the last battle. I'll typically use this team to get me over to that next hump, so I don't have to restart to the next tier level. Love using them. I just need to bring them up a little bit higher power and get Magneto, but we'll see when that happens. Scrolling on down, next team that I use, and I have a lot of fun with this one too, coming in about 98,000, is my Guardian / Tech something. I don't really know what it is, but I like using it. So I'm using Korath, Vision, Star-Lord, Rocket, and Groot. So we have some Guardians and some Tech. Now this is you can see that I use this team quite a bit because of the 10 refreshes. Really have a good time using this team, especially I really undervalued how powerful Rocket Raccoon is, especially with Star-Lord and Groot hitting his special ability, and his ultimate just destroys the other teams. This one, just like the Brotherhood, it'll get me up to about tier 6, and I can count on them to win that last battle to get over to the next tier. I just really undervalued Rocket. He's a great character, does a ton of damage, and paired with Groot, ever since Groot's little rework, I do like using Groot. I just recently upgraded him to tier 9, and I have a really good time. The next one I would use would probably be Korath, just because he doesn't really fit in anywhere. I'm working on trying to get someone else, I don't know, maybe Scarlet Witch to pair with Vision, but yeah, this is a really fun team, and I do have a good time playing with it. Next team I use is the Avengers, just straight up all Avengers. Well, I guess Shield, Quake, Hawkeye, Black Widow, Thor, and Captain America. This is a team at 155,000. This is a team that has really fallen off, especially when going against Defenders or Brotherhood or Shield Fury teams. I really got to pick my battles closely, especially when the team power is so high. So they're not guaranteed victory for me all the time in the higher tiers, tier 6 or 7 and 8 for sure, just because they've kind of fallen down. And I hope they get a rework soon just so that they can become a top tier team again. But we'll see. They're a team that I invested in really heavily early on, just because they were the go-to team. You know, Quake and Black Widow are some of the best characters. Captain America. Eventually, once the Iron Man event comes, I will unlock him. So I'll put Iron Man in here, just so he has that synergy with Captain. But yeah, Thor's not the best character. Pretty slow, but he does do quite a bit of damage. But not top tier for me. But you know, they're dependable when I need them in the, I'd probably say about tier 6 range. My second to last team, 171,000, is just kind of a combination of, I don't really know, mystics and cosmics and stuff. Just throw some team or characters together. So I got Yondu, Thanos, Gamora, Mordo, and Crossbones. Sort of like a villain team without Gamora. Basically, the goal of this team is for Thanos to start feeding energy to Yondu and Gamora, so that Gamora can do her ultimate and get that offense up and just start slicing and dicing. And then Yondu, so I can do some summons with his middle ability, and then that AoE with his last ultimate. Mordo, it's kind of squishy, but I do like how he can do some defense downs and blinds, and the heal blocks against the defenders. And Crossbones is in there just so he can do his AoE damage, and so he can tank if Thanos doesn't have it. But I don't really use this team that much just because they get destroyed by the top 3 meta teams that I was talking about earlier. So it's just a quick way for me to get some points in those milestones. And the last team, my best team, that I'm trying to get to 200,000. God, it's going to take forever. Defenders with Punisher. This is the team where I've been investing the T4 abilities. I think I have it in Iron Fist with his passive. Same with Punisher passive, and then Jessica Jones, her basic. I'm going to use it on Daredevil next once I get enough. But this is my go-to team. As high as I can get. I'll go to tier as high as I can. But once I get to tier 7 or 8, you know, I run into more optimized teams, a little bit higher power. They may have some different abilities. Yeah, I don't have any red stars on my Iron Fist, and he's my highest rated one, so that's kind of a bummer. But highest team, I try to use as much as I can in the higher ranks to get those points and get those milestones, because I think for the most part I finish in that middle range, like the 20, I think it's 25 to 60, or on special times when I'm really trying hard I get 11% to 25, so somewhere in that range. I think it's like, what is it, the 15 shards or 25 shards plus the milestones, so maybe, what is it, probably 25 to maybe 40 shards, depending on how hard I'm playing the Blitz or whoever the character is. Sometimes, you know, you get burned out. But yeah, I just wanted to share this with you since the other video did pretty well. These are definitely not optimized teams, just because of my roster. It's kind of all over the place basically, and I'm just heavily investing in defenders just so I can get a good solid raid team, good arena team for defense and offense and for alliance war. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or any suggestions to make my teams a little bit better, if you want to share some of your teams that get you those high tiers, go ahead and leave a comment below. If you like more videos for Marvel Strike Force or any other video games in general, go ahead and hit that sub button, give the video a like, blah blah blah, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, and see you.